What's up, everybody? It's Callsign and welcome back to another field report. This time we are out at Kiowa Creek Airsoft and Paintball in Bennett, Colorado. So some of the basics on the field, as I said, Bennett, Colorado. It's about a half an hour east of Denver, so it's not too far out of the way. Cost is between $20 and $25 depending upon the game host, and there will be more on that in a minute. One thing to keep in mind if you're going to play at Kiowa Creek is that they do require bio BBs only, which was something new for me coming from California, where that's not a requirement at any fields as far as I'm aware. Their feet per second limits are 400 feet per second for AEGs, 450 for DMRs with a 40-foot minimum engagement distance, and 500 feet for snipers with an 80-foot minimum engagement distance. So that's pretty cool. They do require that you shoot semi-only within 25 feet of each other, though. The field itself consists of a combination of a town through the middle of the field, some woods, a creek, and there's a bunch of scattered vehicles, small and large buildings, and bunkers all over the place. Some of the pros and cons that I found in the field, I really like that it is a nice mix of urban and natural terrain. I kind of like playing in the woods from time to time. Because they do offer varying hosts, they do have a large variety of game types and game scenarios, so a lot of times you can end up playing a huge variety of different games that you've maybe never played before, which is pretty cool. The scene there was super friendly. Everybody was far nicer than probably at any other field I've ever been to, which was really cool. Some hosts do utilize blank fire and pyro and vehicles, which is also pretty badass and makes some really fun games. A couple of the things that I wasn't really crazy about is because the field owners don't really know Airsoft, and this is in their own words, so I'm not dogging them at all. Your experience can really vary depending on what outfit is hosting that weekend. And because of this, and they share the field between Airsoft and Paintball, there's not necessarily Airsoft every weekend, so be sure to check the calendar on their website before you go out there. One other con for me personally is that because it is one large AO with a big kind of open space as opposed to various different fields, it can get a little repetitive after a while. Luckily, the different hosts and all of the different game types have maintained the fun factor and made it worth continuing to go back, but it's not going to be like SC Village or Hollywood Sports where you get different fields with various themes and stuff like that. So nothing really against them, it's just kind of different from the scene that I'm used to.
There's one.
There's that blank fire. This first weekend that I went out there was hosted by JTAC Airsoft. They put on a really great game. It was super fun. They came up with really cool game modes throughout the weekend. These first few clips are just kind of warm-up, team deathmatch style
They're sticking pretty
game
far
modes.
back. I'm gonna move.
All right, you move up, cover you.
All right.
These next few clips are kind of funny, and I wanted to include it just as something to talk about in terms of honor and sportsmanship. I saw a guy jump into this building, and we kind of engage in a little bit of a gunfight. I'd initially seen him through the window, but here, not seeing him, I thought maybe he had fallen back, so I decided to try and wrap around the back of the building and see if maybe he was playing out the back door. Didn't see him, so I knew he had to be in that building still somewhere. So I figured patience is king, and that I would eventually catch him slipping and get him. Now right there, I was pretty certain I got him, and when I went back and watched it one frame at a time, the BBs definitely tracked straight into the dark mass that is his body, but benefit of the doubt, he had a really crazy loadout, so maybe he didn't feel it. But then there was another moment right there where I was fairly certain it did, and again, watching it frame by frame, the BB's tracked straight for his body, but it's whatever. But I knew he was getting really antsy, so playing patient, I just waited for him to make a mistake. And there it is. This next game mode was pretty unique, and it was the first time I'd played this style of game. Each team was broken up into fire squads, or short, small fire teams with different armband colors, and scattered throughout the fields were all of these different colored flags. Each fire team had to get their color flag and return it to our spawn point, and at the end of the game, the team with the most flags, regardless of color, won. It made the gameplay a little bit
I can't tell if those guys are dead.
slow, I would say, because a lot of times people were focusing mainly on the objective of capturing the flags and not so much engaging. There would be periods, long periods with no fire. But what made this really cool was they utilized vehicles. Each team was given a transport vehicle. And so once the flags that were near to our spawn point had been cleared out, we hopped in the back of the Suburban, and our driver took us deep into enemy territory to snatch some flags on their side of the field and hopefully give us the numbers advantage. For me personally, this was the first time ever incorporating a vehicle into a gameplay, and I thought it was pretty badass. So once we got deep into enemy cover, we all hopped out, tried to grab some flags, got into a little bit of engagement, and then headed back.
Good place, guys.
The other team had no idea we pushed up this far.
Got one. One guy dead. I got my flag. Right at my 12 o'clock.
Oh yeah, no.
I got one of them for sure.
Knowing that we were running low on time, I decided focus on the objective. We want to win the game, so I'm going to sprint back because we could only carry one flag at a time. And we actually won the game by like 2 flags, barely. These next few clips are from a weekend at Kiowa Creek hosted by Mile High Milsim, different outfit. This was kind of a cold and windy day, so the turnout was a bit smaller, which was a little bit unfortunate, but what are you going to do? The game mode we were playing here was a high-value target. The opposite team had a VIP, and their objective was to push him to our spawn point. Our objective was to prevent him from getting to our spawn point, or to capture him ourselves and return him to our spawn point on our own. Now, each player, including the high-value target, had only 3 lives, and we were told that if we were to just simply kill the HVT, it would be a draw. So it was in our benefit to either capture him or just prevent him and go to time. Because the town is generally the hotspot in the middle of the field, we assumed that they would probably rush through the town, but it turns out they didn't rush at all. So we decided to, which would come back to bite us in the ass a little bit later. This next clip was really frustrating. My teammate there was dead, and I wanted to get up to him and heal him.
Yeah, oops, shit.
And I made a noob move and switched my gun into full auto by accident.
One moving far right!
And I see this guy running far right. And looking at the zoom cam footage, even though it was really shaky and bouncy, he definitely was hit. And he stops, calls himself out. But I didn't see the guy on the left side of the screen walking up who was very much alive and could revive him. So as soon as I make the sprint to go revive my player, the dude in the kilt comes down and guns us both down again.
2, 3,
and that sucked. So we run back to respawn. This is our spawn point. As I said, the other team's objective is to get the VIP to that helicopter. And because we had pushed so far forward, a lot of our guys had lost all of their lives. So we're pretty much pinned down here. The VIP is up on the ridge.
Really?
They had maybe 6 or 7 guys left to our like
dead.
4.
That guy's dead. One down.
So our basic only option was to either push up to him and surrender him, which with that many guys up there would not happen, or to stall and wait for time to run out.
One down. Loading. He's dead again.
Unfortunately, with mere minutes left in the game time, we all got shot and we lost. Oh well. All in all, really fun gameplay out at Kiowa Creek. Check the various local hosts' Facebook pages and the Kiowa Creek website for game information, and definitely get out there and have a good time. See you next time.
Oh shit! Hit!